Now, as a parent, in addition to what may be recommended by your physician or your team of physicians taking care of your child, there's a number of things that you can do yourself that will accelerate the recovery from CRPS. And there's a number of things that you can do if you're on a waiting list, waiting to see a specialist, waiting to get into a pain program that will make your child feel better. Remembering that the foundation of treating CRPS is physical therapy and desensitization of the limb. Those are something that you can start yourself at home, even without a physical therapy. First of all, mobilizing the limb that is being protected and is being held still by the child is a very important thing. And you can do that by gradually introducing enjoyable activities that force the child or encourage the child to use that limb. Swimming or aquatherapy is a terrific thing to do. First of all, if the leg is affected with CRPS, when you're standing in a swimming pool, you're very buoyant, and so only a small fraction of your weight would actually be put on that limb, so it's possible to walk in water when it would be impossible and too painful to walk on land. Secondly, being in the water is an automatic desensitization mechanism. The water moves across the limb, and the movement of the water across the limb is perceived as a sensation, which may be uncomfortable at first for the child, but it's not really very painful. And that water moving across the limb for an hour, once a day, or 3 times a week, is a desensitization mechanism that will begin the child on the path to recovery. If you're lucky enough to have a jacuzzi or belong to a community pool or club that has a jacuzzi, they are fabulous for desensitization. Most children with CRPS don't like to put their affected limb in cool or cold water. That's one problem with going into a swimming pool, unless it's a heated pool. But jacuzzis are heated to 90 or 100 degrees. It feels good to put the limb of complex regional pain syndrome, whether it's arm or leg, into the warm water of the jacuzzi, and the constant flow of water, because of the jacuzzi's bubbling mechanism, is always moving past the limb and desensitizing it. Then as your child begins to feel a little bit more comfortable putting their limb in the jacuzzi water, they can begin to get it closer and closer and closer to that jet of bubbles. So they can't do it immediately on the first day. It would feel like a million needles shooting into their arm if they put their arm right in that bubble jet. But they can get near the bubble jet and just have a few bubbles hitting their arm on the first day, and then the second day maybe move an inch closer, and the next time an inch closer, and over 1 week or 2 weeks you can get them closer and closer and get that limb into the bubble jet until finally they're getting a desensitization that's as good as any occupational therapist can give you in a clinic. I've actually had patients who have reversed their CRPS just by doing pool therapy and using a jacuzzi while they were waiting to get into my pain program.